Yo everybody, it's Override, and I'm ready to bring the pain for you this week. That is right, we're going to do this, and we're going to do it twice. That's going to be 2 weeks in a row, we're going to go live. This one, today, since I already did a couple episodes on video games, I never really got to talk about the systems and my evolution through the systems, how I actually was able to find the systems, my exposure to the systems, the games I played, the people I played them with. There's so much that with video games with me, that's just more than just a top 20 list. It's more than just, my top Star Wars game list. It's about mentioning the systems, mentioning the people, and the great times we had. So let's get to it. Ooh, yeah! What's up, everybody? How you doing? Yeah, I know I've had some pretty crazy episodes, but I've also had some pretty good episodes too. Recently redoing my top 5 rappers, my Furious 5, and then my, the crazy episodes that me and Chrissy Ray have been talking about. Bringing the pain to the politicians, to the city, to the lazy business owners. But this one right here, this is about video games. This is about systems. This is about the beginning. This is about I could probably do I'm probably going to do 5 or 6, 7 more episodes about video games, but that's what it's about. That's what it is about. And if you don't know that, then you just don't game it. And that's fine. That's fine. Not everybody games, brother. But I will tell you this. It's about the good times that you had with all your friends growing up. When you didn't have nothing to do, maybe you were grounded from the video game systems and stuff like that, but you were grounded to your room. So, sometimes I got a mouth on me. You know that. What? I said a mouth on me. That's what I got sent to, OSS and ISS for back in high school days because, when somebody says something, I had to say something back. But anyway, video games. Let's start it out. So, I didn't know what video games were. My dad never really, had it around. And I remember actually growing up around the block. I have a great memory. A lot of, let's say, key moments that I can remember in my life. And whether it was linked to video games or other things, it just shows that, when something good or when you have a really good memory, it doesn't matter, like, if you forget it or not, you will remember it because that's what it means to you. So I remember living around the corner, my dad going down to what used to be Rentway down here, and now it's, it's some clothing store, blah, 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 and he rented the Atari 2600. So he brings this bad boy home with Space Invaders, the original games, the Pac-Man, Donkey Kong, Centipede, these games, just all these games. So he brings it home and, I start playing. Mind you, I'm only about 2 or 3 at this time. So, I remember, playing games, and I remember him going to get that system and coming home. And then, we moved over to Pine Avenue. And this is about my first grade year. So then we actually had bought the Atari, and we had accumulated more games since then. So we had all the rest. We had Asteroids, Missile Command. The list goes on, Dig Dug, Blaster Master. Oh, that might be a Nintendo game. No, that was an Atari game. Well, anyway. So I played so many games in my life. It's so fucking nuts. Like, that's why it's such a big part of my life. It's a big part of a lot of people's lives, and you're going to see this. So, the Atari 2600, and here's a funny little fact. When I got the 7800, that Christmas, everybody got the Nintendo. And I was like the odd one out. And I was the one who played probably the most games and had the most games. I had the most Atari games. I was the one that. So I moved up to the Atari 7800. We had 2 buttons and a big, long controller. But the games were good. So you had like Desert Falcon, utilizing some of the better graphics. What? I mean, they weren't really that good. What? Okay, they were shitty. But, that being said, it was a learning experience. These games were hard. Sometimes they went forever, and you didn't get an ending. Sometimes you just got the game would just freeze and would just go purple. and then blue, and then orange, and then yellow. You just know what I'm talking about. And like Yar's Revenge and stuff like that. Games like that. Really good games. And, Haunted House and Raiders of the Lost Ark. We did not have, Game Facts back then. We didn't have IGN back then. You just had to write notes down to actually beat a fucking game. And nobody does that anymore. And that's the thing. That's why I say, the old-time gamers, we might be a little slower. Maybe our our reaction times are down. But we've been playing games so long that our hands are already trained. I mean, they might not move as fast. And that's okay. But in the end, we still know how to bring the pain! So, yeah. So, my buddy Dewan used to play games with me all the time. So we would play Real Sports Football, Real Sports Baseball, Real Sports Basketball, Real Sports this, Real Sports that. And, we'd play Combat. And he would come over and he would play the 7800. And, when I would go down or something like that, or maybe if he wanted to, he'd bring over his Nintendo. So, I did that for, I'd say, I wouldn't say a year. It was about a few months, and then I went and got a newspaper route. I just couldn't take it anymore. And I was in 6th grade at the time. So I went and bought my first Nintendo after my first time getting paid from being a newsboy. I used a paper boy. I was a paper boy. And I was amazing. Anybody that knows me knows that I run my ass off on anything I do. I'm so fucking fast. Brother. But that's, I'm just a good worker, but I can run. So I do it. And that's what I did as a paper boy. And I had a big route for a, almost 12-year-old, because I wasn't supposed to have the job. But what happened was, since it used to be part of my sister's route, she kind of just gave it to me, and they knew I was used to running it with my sister, because me and my sister would always run it. So next thing you know, I come home with Iron Sword, Wizard and Warriors 2, Mega Man 2, and Ninja Gaiden 2. Now this is just when Ninja Gaiden 2 pretty much came out. So it was like the hottest shit. Like everybody had to come play Ninja Gaiden 2. Ooh yeah! Funny thing is I beat it before they even got to see it. Hell yeah! Because I'm that fucking good. So now I have the Nintendo. And right around then, we had Real Entertainment right down the street. So, in Erie, PA, we had a Real Entertainment on Parade, which is near Mighty Fine Donuts. Great long time donut company that's been in Erie and still kicking today. And I would rent games every weekend. And then eventually, Blockbuster came to town. Blockbuster. I mean, you all remember Blockbuster. Remember Blockbuster? You remember Blockbuster. I remember Blockbuster. But the only Blockbuster we had was all the way up by the Mill Creek Mall. What? It was really far. What? So, let's just talk about the Nintendo now. Because, I can't talk about the Nintendo without my boy Dewan. Super C, me and him, 10-guy code, killing it, beating it. Me and him, Jackal, me and him, we were literally the best 2 players simultaneous on the same team people ever. We were the best. Like, we'd go to school and we would talk shit all the time, right? So this one time we went there and this dude Justin, he goes, yo, man, I beat Jackal with my brother. And me and Dewan, look, and we had lost. We got close, but we weren't really, motivated to beat it. And he goes, yeah, I beat it. And I'm like, and Dewan looks at me, and he goes, dude, he sucks. How the fuck did we not beat this game? What? I said, I don't know, boy. Let's do it. Went home, smashed that shit. Hell yeah! Because we were killers. Any game. And we're the only one of our friends to also beat Battletoads. And I don't care. I've heard of other people beating Battletoads. I've seen their gaming skills. You guys, nobody's beat it. There's been other people that have beat it. But literally what it came down to was me really memorizing the board when I was a one-player game. So I never had to really coach or train Dewan because he was my equal. He literally, I could just feel him. Now, I had other friends that were really great at games, like my boy John. he was just great at gaming. But sometimes, you had to kind of, point things out to him. But then once he got it, he was good. He was solid. And you never had to tell him anything ever again.
Hell yeah!
But DeJuan, I never had to say anything. He was really like, we was like connected. And he was really, actually, one of my first real black friends. And so, I got to, his father being a reverend, I was introduced to the culture and just so many different things. But in the end, it was all about video games. This dude didn't give a fuck. He just wanted to play video games. So, I memorized all. Now, we didn't play it board for board. Let that be known. We took all the warps, got to the last level. And then for the last level, how we did it was, I went and I picked him up. Because you could hurt each other in Battletoads.
What?
Like, you could punch each other, and it was really fucking annoying. So, I picked him up, and I would do the jumps. And then I would throw him, which wouldn't hurt him. And then we would beat up the people on the next level. Jump, 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 jump. Beat the next level. We got all the way to the top, and the Dark Queen came out. I threw him, and we beat the shit out of her. Beat the fucking daylights.
Ooh, yeah!
So, that being said, we just kept killing it. Game after game, game after game. So I got challenged. I told you about that when Epic Rob Gaming Moments, right? When I did Final Fantasy. Now, mind you, I played Dragon Warrior before that, and I did one for that, but I'll mention it during this time. But, my buddy John was like, dude, you ain't gonna beat this. DeJuan was there. He was like, I'm telling you, it's not a game you will like.
What?
I was like, no, I'll play everything, man. I'll play it, and, John goes, you ever play, Dragon Warrior? I was like, hell yeah, I own it. He was like, all right. And this is when I first started meeting John. John, who eventually became my best man. And so I go home and I play this game. And I've beat it in one night. What I did was, of course, I found out the trick. I was just walking around ready to grind. And I went the wrong way the witch was up there, but I couldn't really go see the witch yet. So I go up and I got attacked by some frost wolves, like I said, and I came back down. I was like, all right, I got these people. Fires 2 spell hits everybody. Roll back up there, boom. Next thing you know, 4 levels, lots of money. Went back, bought another sword, bought another spell, and I just powered my gun. Now my best, and this is go ahead, fight me with it. 2 fighters, a black belt, and a red mage. Now I used to do 3 fighters, but black belt at level 50, of course, is stronger than a fighter. So I had to get rid of it because really I would put the sun sword on the 3rd fighter because I always gave the red mage the defense sword because that helps with his defense.
Hell yeah!
That makes sense, right? That's why my team was powerful. Plus the red mage learned just enough spells to actually be effective, heal, bring you back to life, and really kick the game's ass. And then, when class change comes, all your knights get healing spells too. So now we have healing, now we have a little black magic, and we have power.
Brother!
So that being, So I brought it back the next day. They popped it in. They saw, because you could only save it at the town, but they saw my level. It was like, I was like level 38 one fucking night. Played that motherfucker for like 17 hours straight because I was a fucking boss.
Hell yeah!
Yeah. So, and I played a lot of games with my buddy Brian, my other buddy Bob, my longest friend ever, Dave. I played with him, played with my other buddy Dave, and we're talking Castlevanias, Ninja Gaidens. I beat them all. Ninja Gaiden 3, then Turtles came out. Turtles in Time. I mean, not Turtles in Time. That's coming up. But I just kept just beating these games after game, and I was so good. And then I started getting into these role-playing games like Ultima, which was kind of junk. But at that point, I had Dragon Warrior 2. It came out, Dragon Warrior 3, which is one of my most favorite video games of all time. If you listen to my top 20 video game list, it makes a list because you can start the game out whatever way you want. You can go 1 person, 2 person, 3 person, 4 person. The game, makes the experience for that. So I would roll out my people. Then eventually I'd turn my healer into a sage, which allowed you multiple magics. And then what you did after that was, you worked up a level. So then I would take one of my soldiers, and I would turn him into a magic user, black, and then I would, level him up till he could, go back. Once because he only had to live 1 fight, and they usually could because they were still strong, but you had to go re-equip them. So then you had all the items in there. So next thing you know, boom, now I got Black Magic. Now he's back to a fighter. Of course, your stats get half, but you get half hit points, but by the time he earns more back, goes half, and then he catches up to your people, because literally they would eventually all catch up. But the game, the Dragon Warrior 3, why it was so good. I mean, I remember the Orichi sword, going to get that, fighting the Orichi. That was hard. So many dungeons in this game. It was so huge. You could just boat everywhere, and this was like my first time with gambling too, because you could gamble on monsters. Did you know that? Like, did you know Dragon Warrior 3 had gambling? So I just sat there and I would bet on monsters, and I would win. And then if I got like a little one that had like barely a chance to win, but he would win, I would win so much money. So again, you saw how I would do it. I would just hit it. Instead of going to grind at this point, I would hit some cash, and next thing you know, I'd have like $10,000, $15,000. Boom, buy all the great shit, which stuff wasn't that expensive in Dragon Warrior that early in the game. Next thing you know, I'm stronger than I should be. And this is what I do in video games, even like Final Fantasy, up to Final Fantasy 12, even nowadays. Like, I just stayed in this one area, and I got all my cards up in Final Fantasy 12, and I walked through the rest of the game. That's what I do. Like, if you put in a good 2-3 hours, you find, like a metal slime here, or you find a good little niche where you could just, get things and, use a potion that makes more monsters fight, and you just get more experience per minute. That's what it's about. That's probably XP per minute. How you know about that?
Ooh, yeah!
So, I probably got the best XP per minute than anybody in the world. I swear to God. I would jack anybody up. Nobody's got these games under their belt like me. First of all, I'm older than a lot of these kids, right? And none of them got the systems to go back and play it. They wait for things to come out. And I've already beat them. They're up in my attic. They're still up there. I just literally bought tons of games recently. And just yesterday, I ran across a Sega 1 and a Sega 2 for $7 each.
What?
Like, this is video games, man. So then, move along. Finally, the Genesis is out. The TurboGrafx is out, but I don't have that. So comes the one of the big Christmases. My buddy Dewan gets the Super Nintendo, and my buddy Dave gets the TurboGrafx. Went down to $99. Got Legendary Axe with that, and a few other people had the Genesis. So we, usually the Genesis people always like WCW wrestling, which I did love WCW wrestling back then too. I was a huge WWF fan though. And that being said, go back to it. So my brother actually got the Super Nintendo. Sorry, I had to get a drink there. It's kind of crazy, but
hell yeah!
So my brother, but at the time, he wasn't really, like, living with me and things like that.
What?
Sorry about that. And so I didn't have a Super Nintendo. I just had a Nintendo, so I kept playing Nintendo games and playing Nintendo games while people were playing Super Nintendo games. Then my buddy Dave got a Super Nintendo. This is another Dave, okay? So I had two friends, Dave, at this time of my life. So the other Dave got the Super Nintendo, the other one had the TurboGrafx, and everybody's got all these fucking systems, and I don't got it. I'm the fucking fiend here, okay? I'm the fiend. I'm trying to be the best. And I feel that I am. A lot of people would come ask me, play video game, or how to beat a game, or what I would use. Trade games, I always had games to trade. So, what ended up happening was, my brother really didn't care about the Super Nintendo at that time. He would just leave it. And my mom, so my dad and my mom were kind of separated at this time. No biggie. It happens in life. It's fine with me. Everybody was cool, though. So, he would just leave it up there and I would play. But then he would take it. So the one time, I remember my buddy, this is 7th grade, my buddy Dewan, he was teasing me while I was playing it down there. And he's going to go do something. He's like, I'll give you my Super Nintendo, right? So he packed this shit up, put it in his book bag.
What?
Right in his book bag, right? So he's teasing me with it. And I'm like, come on, dude, I'll just go home. I was just go play video games. And he kept messing with me. So he took the little power cord, the little purple end and shit came out the bag, and he did one of them snake things. It was like, do 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 do. Because that's what my dude did. So, I went and played it, and it wasn't too much longer before I had a Super Nintendo. Had it. Because everything I always had to buy, I just had to buy. I mean, Tommy bought it. He had some money when he bought his, but that wasn't mine. and other people got theirs for Christmas, so I went and bought mine again. And this is when I've just already been called a Nintendo fiend, but I mean, we're talking Final Fantasy 2, Final Fantasy 3. We're talking Space Megaforce, which is kind of like Blazing Lasers for the TurboGrafx 16. So it's kind of cool port if you like those games. There's a few more weapon upgrades too. Thunder Spirits, Cybernator. Love that game. It was really weird, but Cybernator was a good game. And it just, the only game I really messed with is the one time my boy John was with me. And I saw Ninja Gaiden Trilogy. It was done getting rented, and that was, that Real Entertainment. That's where I got a lot of my Kung Fu flicks, because once they made their quota or whatever, they would just put it out for like $1 or $5. So I would just go buy it. And literally, I was probably the only person that rented them anyway. So I ended up just buying them all. And that's why I got that. Same with the games. And Ninja Gaiden was there for $10. Trilogy. I was like, man, I was getting paid the next day. I didn't want to use that money because I was bold. I wouldn't use money to play for a game. Next thing you know, come back the next day, the game's fucking gone.
What?
Just gone, man. Just gone. So, as a life lesson, don't let things pass you by. You want that, buy it. If it means that much, you buy it. Do it. Because now the game's way expensive, and I'm not paying that for that game. Not when I had that. So, I had my Super Nintendo for years, and, then Sega CD was coming out, and Dave had that, and it was looking good, and, the TurboGrafx was still running, and finally I was like, all right, well, let me check out this 3DO game system. So I got the original Panasonic 3DO. I do have that. It didn't run anymore, and I don't even know if I have it anymore, which is sad, because it probably could have been fixed. It might still be up in my attic, along with my Sega CD area. I'll find that too. But I ended up getting the Gold Star one, which is, a top-loading one. Way better. Because the other one, I had to kickstart it. I would have to take the top off and keep spinning it to kind of, do some things.
What?
Yes, I had to jumpstart my 3DO Panasonic. But this is where I learned, Way of the Warrior, White Zombie, first time I ever heard them. But they had game. They had, at that time, was the best version of Street Fighter. They had the new challenges. It was the super version, and it had upgraded music. And this was the first time Street Fighter 2 had the super bar. So, that being said, I even had connectors for it. Yeah, I found connectors for it. Because, I'd go to the video game stores, and when I seen things, I'd buy them. Because that's what I could do. I had nothing else. Until I bought a car. And got into systems. But so I could play the 3DO with my Super Nintendo controller. It just tons. I had system selectors. I had always had my systems all hooked up at all times. So eventually, the Nintendo 64 came out in the PlayStation, so I got both those. I had jobs at this time, so just anything came out, I got it. And, right off the bat, I'm going to start with the Nintendo 64 really quick, too. I mean, GoldenEye, Mario Kart 64. I mean, I'm telling you, I was literally every month when I would look at EGM, and I would go to the Nintendo Power, and I would look who had the fastest time in Mario Kart, and I had it. I had the fastest time. I could beat Mario Raceway faster than anybody.
Hell yeah!
So, and then this was Metroid, going back to Metroid, 2. And I could speedrun Metroid so fucking fast. I was so good at it. And my mom loved playing Metroid. My mom also loved playing Dr. Mario. She could kick our asses at it. And I had Tetris and Dr. Mario. That was the only chance I had against her, was because of Tetris A and B. Because she would tear me and my boy John up at Dr. Mario. Because you would do Tetris B first, and then you would do Tetris A third, with Dr. Mario in the middle. Which she would tear through that. So we had to really get to the last Tetris to really beat her. Because her point accumulation in Dr. Mario was sick. That's why, God rest your soul, Mom. That's why it's in your coffin with you to this day.
Hell yeah!
Because that's the game that I couldn't beat her at. So, that being said, we'll move along. So many games, so many good times with my buddy Dewan. I mean, me and Dewan developed a system in Madden 94. We played 93 too, but in Madden 94, we really got it down to where we really started gambling for games around this time. We were gambling for games with Super Tecmo Bowl too. We had he would get so mad when I would be like Rams and I had to have like Henry Eller with his 81 catch, or then I would just get mad and I would go be the Giants and LT would be on crack and like literally in the game too. And
Hell yeah!
and I would intercept balls and I would return the ball for a touchdown, and he was like, I can't fucking take this. But we would do pixel enlargement. So like when we would want something bad to happen, like we would run up right close to the TV and look at the pixels really close. And that's what we called pixel enlargement. That's the competition that I had around me. People wanted to beat me at video games.
What?
Like kick my fucking ass. And guess what? Sometimes they did. And sometimes they didn't. So yeah, you know, you got the Mario Kart, you got the Golden Eyes. I mean, eventually upgraded, got Perfect Dark, WWF, No Mercy, fucking best at that. I'll smash any one of you. And if I got my creative guy, you're done. You're done. I will smash you out. There ain't no group. I will just fuck you up. Like literally, I will talk shit to anybody in this world. I will beat your ass at WWF No Mercy because I'm that fucking good. We played it every day along with GoldenEye every day, every week. It was that. And then when I lived with my brother and my buddy Brian, we would just play Mario Kart 64 every single day, every day. That's why we were so fucking good. You know, I mean, and you guys could like, look at you, you're just fucking gloating. You just think that you're the shit. Yeah, I'm the fucking shit because I did it. I proved it. And everybody hates me for it because I was the shit talker. I was good, but I backed it up. That's because that's what I did. You know, I didn't play no games like that. I'm a killer. That's what I do. So, you know, we get moving along and you get the PlayStation, and you get Final Fantasy VII, and you get all the role-playing games. I have so many role-playing games upstairs. I mean, that's when, like, you know, Tony Hawk first started coming out. You know, Final Fantasy Tactics, Ogre Battle. I got Ogre Battle 64, and I have Ogre Battle Special Edition for the PlayStation. I have epic games that are worth a lot of money. We're talking Mega Man X3, you know, Tecmo Super Bowl 2, the Special Edition. Tecmo 3, the final edition. I got games. And that's what it's about. I have all those games. That's why I was so good. Because I played those games. I played those games religiously with my friends. So, you know, one day at a party, you know, everybody was running around. And they called me and Dwan out. You know, John, Dave, all of them. They were like, there's no fucking way you beat Contra 3 without a Game Genie. I'm like, why the fuck do you need a Game Genie? Now, mind you, Contra 3, like I've explained to you on my top 20 video game list, Contra 3 had to be beat on hard to get the best ending. Me and Dewan hooked that shit up and beat that game right in front of everybody. No cheats. 7 guys, 3 continues, and straight fucking dominance from me and my dude. Even to then, we were that fucking good. Moving on. One of the last games that me and Dewan smashed was Mario 64. That was it. He stayed there that one whole night smoking Black and Milds, and we beat the entire game. We got all 120 stars. And then he went into the Marines after that. He's now, you know, he served all of his times, full terms, everything, you know. So thank you for your service, Dewan, and everybody else that I know. But he did that, and, you know, that's kind of where it went. But that was the game. Now, who remembers that? I do. You know, so move along, you know, get GameCube comes out, I get the Dreamcast, you know, and through the games, because I actually, my mom found a TurboGrafx 16, but the little end thing for the TV, the RV out, is snapped off. So I put it aside, and I still have it to this day, we'll get to that. And I acquired a Genesis 3. And one of my favorite games for the Genesis 3 is Blades of Vengeance. It's a really cool game, you know, and I have Streets of Rage, and I have that stuff. And now I have that stuff for my PlayStation 4. I went and bought the, you know, 40 game pack, which is just easier than hooking up my system. I could play on the, you know, the control pad of the PlayStation, which is great. Which, by the way, all games, all controls are off the Super Nintendo. Look at it. Outside the stick, the analog sticks, it's all about the L and R buttons in that configuration, that diamond. That's what it was. That's and still used to this day. That was a great innovation by Nintendo at that time.
Brother,
So, GameCube comes out, you get Rogue Leader, you get a bunch of cool games, and this is when Nintendo started getting, really cheesy for people, but, you got Super Smash Brothers that come out. Of course, we got all the Zeldas that come out, Zelda 1, Zelda 2, had to wait for beating that, Zelda 3. Once you get to the Dark World, what you do is you go up in the woods, right, and you dash up this one little area. You're not supposed to be able to do it, but it glitches. If you do it just right, it'll glitch, and you'll get knocked up to an area you shouldn't be at. Once you do that, well, what did I say earlier? You walk the rest of the fucking game.
Hell yeah!
So, I'm still just jamming games out. And I go on eBay, and I order a TurboGrafx, and I got like a 5-game, 6-game lot with it, too. It was $30 for a TurboGrafx 16. That worked. Controllers. I got the Turbo Tap. I got everything. So I don't have a Turbo Booster, but now that we're going to talk about that, so that other Turbo my mom found, right? My buddy Dave goes, hey, there's people that can run it without a Turbo Booster. You got to use these little controls. Well, I have computers. And mind you, of course, during this time I was playing Diablo 2, Star Wars Galaxies, Alien vs. Predator, Unreal Tournament. List goes on and on of the games. I played this game, Anarchy Online. What the fuck? It was cool at first, but then everything died. Motor City Online, one of the best racing games ever. Every week you got paid, and it was so good. I wish Motor City Online didn't end. At the very end, I paid $5 and I got the final 3 or 4 months free. And my brother-in-law played it. Sorry about that.
What?
Hey, sometimes you gotta act when you're drinking a lot of beer and you're spitting a lot of fire because you're the best at video games. Ooh, yeah. But, so we get into that, and we're out there at the GameCube, and hit that. So comes along the Wii. Next thing you know, I'm bowling 300s in the Wii bowling. I'm just, a great boxer at the boxing game. And Wii's kind of getting down. It's just games. It's like fun party games. So, let me jump back. I kind of went ahead a little bit. So anyway, I hooked up my Turbo, and it runs like a Turbo Booster. So you hook up, you can get the, the yellow, red, and white cables, and you run them in, and it gives you that better sound and all that stuff. So now I actually use that Turbo more than my real Turbo because it's the better sounding one. And plus, now I have 2 turbos, and I don't have to play my good one.
Hell yeah!
You like that. So come along. So then finally, I get the Xbox 360. And that's when I start getting into Call of Duties with my brother-in-law, Josh. And right about now, Dave was always my steady friend. Other friends would get out. But me and Dave and, Christy Ray, we would sit there and, when we were living on 20th Street and I had that Turbo, we would play Devil's Crush all night long. All night long.
Brother.
And you can't make this stuff up, what's going on, because, that it was tournaments every single day. So I'm back to just having good times. And then at that time, too, me and Josh were playing Madden, and Madden existed all the way until 2007, 2008. Me and Josh were just playing Madden. Man, he'd come down all week long. He was 16, and then he eventually got a car, so he had nothing to do. So he'd come down, and he would sleep the whole weekend, and his girlfriend would come, and, now they're married, and good things for them, and all that stuff on the way. So, congrats on that.
Hell yeah!
Yeah, this is always somebody has been in my life to put my gaming level to the next level. And that's how I've always been. I've always had that competition. I've always had somebody coming after the crown. But they ain't getting my crown.
Ooh, yeah!
So, the Wii U comes out, and it's an amazing system. I ported all my Turbo games that I couldn't get, and a lot of my Nintendo games that had got stolen from me over the years. I bought a lot of that from my Wii and then ported it over to my Wii U. So next thing you know, and then just recently, just a few weeks back, I went and bought all these other games that I just really love to play. So I got my Ninja Gaiden 2, Ninja Gaiden 3, Ninja Gaiden, all that stuff. And I got all that stuff upstairs. But when you see something like a couple $100 or, of $5 here, $5 there, Christmas comes, and somebody gets you a $40, Nintendo card, you just go buy fucking games. So, PC, the Xbox, the PlayStation 2, the PlayStation, all these games, and even going back to the PlayStation, after my buddy Dewan left, my buddy Cricky and like Durst, I shouldn't have said his last name,
Brother.
we would just play Maddens. So after Dewan and me stopped playing, Cricky and Brian continued playing with me. I mean, this took it to NBA 2K. My brother could never beat me at a sports game. So he goes and creates. Now, mind you, I was Lakers, so this was just Sack was like a 90 and Kobe was like an 89. This wasn't like the next year. NBA 2K1, when Shaq was a 99 and Kobe was a 98, you couldn't beat me. It was too fucking sick. So sometimes I would go be like, I would go to the Miami Heat where Eddie Jones was. But because Eddie Jones is my dude.
Ooh, yeah!
So, I would just keep playing games going that way. Just being good and keep finding these specials, putting everything under me. Even, the last Zelda I actually beat, I have went and bought the other ones, so they're on my Wii U, waiting for me to play them. You like that?
Hell yeah!
So, it was Wind Waker. And what happened was my daughter, I was getting really far in the game, then I kind of stopped because I was playing Madden and Star Wars Galaxy had taken over my life at this point. So then, my daughter comes over and she's like, I can't beat Ganon at the end. I'm like, all right, well, Ganondorf or whatever. So I'm like, well, and she was like, I know you can beat him, Dad. So that's how I beat it. I beat my daughter's game. And, it feels good. But I missed a lot of that game. So I kind of took the cheap way out on that one. But you know what? I still got it. I would have put the time in, but I didn't have to. Eventually I started playing World of Warcraft.
What?
And that game was shit. After Star Wars, I got out of that. World of Warcraft. It was about a year, and I got into World of Warcraft. A lot of my friends, every one of my friends got into it, but some of the wives got into it, but then they got out of it, and then the other wives didn't. It just started getting problems, because there'd be like everybody else would come down, and then all the guys would be in there playing World of Warcraft, and all the girls would be out there just drinking. So it kind of separated parties. Now, our parties here were always fucking live. We were playing. We played football in the middle of the night. Because we have a cul-de-sac outside. So, we did all this stuff and finally got out of that. So it was right about then when I started playing games with, my daughter a little more, my stepson Tyler, and continued just playing RPGs and racking up the games. So, I had the 360. I had the Wii U, I have all these other systems, they're all hooked up, and then finally the PlayStation 4 comes out, and, up to this date, I just renewed my whole PlayStation thing just a week ago, so I'm getting the PlayStation 5, but the PC kind of filled that, but I didn't have that competition, so Tyler and his friends couldn't really beat me at games. Josh was off living his life. I had no competition for the first time in my life, and I didn't know how to take it. So I just didn't play games as much, and I kind of did this and that. Well, eventually Molly, Mini Override, she came into the picture.
Hell yeah!
And so, her being really young, not really being able to control, like, the whole controller with her small hands. And we bought her a small controller, too. But it was still kind of heavy for her. So what ended up happening is me and her kept playing and playing. And I kind of coached her. I kept coming along. I kept getting her better. Sometimes I was hard on her. I've always been hard on my people. I've been hard on my brother. And let me not forget that. My brother was there for a lot of games. Now, let's throw it out there. Secret Amanda 2, I beat with my brother. Secret Amanda 2, I beat with my buddy John and Cricky. Secret Amanda 2, I beat with my buddy Brian. Secret Amanda 2, or Secret Set. I shouldn't say Secret Amanda 2. Secret Amanda, I beat with Ivory. And then I just beat the remixed version that they released about a year ago of Secret Amanda with Molly. So Molly's being my Diablo 3 person. Molly's being my Secret Amanda person. We're playing Battle Block Theater. If you never played Battle Block Theater, go look at that. Game has sick, really devious, dirty jokes. But if you play it, it's fucking funny. You will laugh your fucking ass off. And buckle your pants, the song at the end when you get it, it's great. You gotta watch it, man. Or not watch it, just play it. It's a fucking hilarious game. So, getting trained to Molly, getting her up to speed. Then Battlefront is out, and so me and her are playing Battlefront. And this is where she finds Bombastic. So if you go to YouTube at Stay Bombastic, you can follow them. And I'm just gonna throw all my people out right now because Star Wars is a big part of my life, big part of her life. Follow at Flying Casual Pod. Follow at Rebel Scumcast on Twitter. Flying Casual on Facebook. Their page there is always lit. There's no hate, no Star Wars hate. There's EU love, canon love, new canon love, eat your canon love. I say hell yeah, that's what it's about. Good stuff, and throw them out. I'll spot at this point at No Mercy, Bumbleboy Tommy G. Get the podcast out the way, but Bombastic, being an Australian kind of guy, and being really good at this, we discovered him, I guess, in the last year of Battlefront. So mind you, me and Molly are playing all these, PlayStation 4 games, downloading this. She loved Grow Home. We got Minecraft. We got all these games. And then they're giving out free games, and we're playing those. So, that being said, we get to it. Smoke a little break. We got a little time out. It's time to go get me a little thing. Sometimes I get a little jacked up during these things. You need some beverages. So, getting into it. I'm training Molly this whole time. Hard on her. Sometimes she didn't want to play. But she eventually became pretty good. Then enter, what's going on right now. So, she got a little bored, even though with, the Necromancer expansion to Diablo 3, we had just been playing Diablo, and then finally she was able to we created her online character, like it allowed her, so she could have her character, and we played it. So Battlefront 2 comes out, and, we're all staying bombastic, and then it's Kills of the Week, so Kills of the Week.
Bring the pain!
And I started making Kills of the Week, because I'm getting really good at Battlefront 2. Now, a lot of people are still doing Call of Duty and stuff, and for her, she just wasn't ready. She still doesn't like the fast pace of Call of Duty. She likes the Battlefront 2 pace a little more, where it's more like methodical, and it's not like someone sitting on the other side with a sniper rifle. Now, they do that in Battlefront 2, and they did that in Battlefront, the cycler rifle, but it doesn't matter, because you could just always take another way. The maps were so big, you could do anything you want.
Ooh, yeah!
So, we get into that. And then Fortnite enters. She starts playing the shit out of Fortnite. And, she's like sitting there, and I'm like, well, you can, fast forward. We're still buying games. We're getting this game, getting that game. We're downloading this game. And I'm playing Battlefront 2. But then what it started becoming is like, she wasn't really into the sport games, so we can't really play. But recently I just bought the EA Access. So now she kind of wants to play she wants to play me in soccer. So I'm like, all right, well, she can play soccer. She'll need to play Madden. She's not going to understand it's soccer. She's going to be able to run around, hit the thing, score a goal, and eventually she'll learn it. So maybe I can get that from her.
Hell yeah!
That would be good. I need some competition. So, and this is where this is leading. So she starts hooking up her earphones, and she finds a party. Now, she started out, I always made fun of her. I was like, she would just go hide in a corner and go, beat up a bush. And then she would get killed. She's got this little crew now. They right before they're in there doing their live paparazzi right now. They placed first in both battle royals, back to back. They place all the time. They literally place in the top, I'd say 20 on average. Even better than that. They're usually last of the 15 to 10. They're in the top 10 constantly, all the time. They've made her better. So now she doesn't really care about Battlefront 2. So then I would play Battlefront 2, and then she would play a few rounds, and then she would just kind of just chill out, and then I would let her play Fortnite. Well, she's waiting for the new game to update tomorrow now because of that reason. Meanwhile, during this time, Warzone comes out. All right, let me try some Warzone. Get back into some Call of Duty. Fucking killing motherfuckers. Hell yeah. Now I'm seeing all these competitions and all these things going down for all this big money, and I'm like, you know what? Now I'm hungry. Now all of you have woken up a beast. You motherfuckers are not safe. Okay? You get that? I'm coming for you. Mortal Kombat 11. Got that. I went and got the whole game of Call of Duty now, so I got everything. Everybody is catching a bullet, getting stabbed from behind. I'm just killing motherfuckers left and right. My controller was broken. It doesn't break for Fortnite. She doesn't have to really run, so she runs around. It's always auto run. She kind of does that. But I couldn't run. So like in Warzone or Call of Duty, whatever, both things, same game, I couldn't run. Like I would be just stuttering and it would slow me down. It was so annoying. So I have another controller, so now I have to use that. But now I'm taking first. Now I'm taking second. Now my teams are kicking ass. And I'm getting better. I'm great at the Battle Royale. I'm living to the last, 5-6 people in that. And if I do, plunder, I get the money, and I'm just a great fucking player. Like a lot of other players in this world, great. But I'm fucking striving to be the best. At age 42, I'm looking to kick your fucking 12-year-old, 22-year-old, 32-year-old ass. I don't give a fuck. You're catching everything that I got. You're catching 40 years of gaming. 40 years of gaming. People haven't even been alive that long. You ain't gonna get me. Meanwhile, I'm playing Final Fantasy VII Remake. I got Resident Evil 7. Playing Resident Evil 2 Remake. I'm beating games ass. Just because I want to. And that's what I do. So while her friends excel at Fortnite, and while Fortnite gets ready to update tomorrow, she's fucking excited. They're ready to pawn all you motherfuckers too. But unfortunately, she's doing it under my account, so... And she's like, well, I'm already all these levels, and I don't want to restart from the beginning. I don't have my skins. So unfortunately, it's a bad situation for her. But, whatever. So, yeah, you run into Heat Override on Fortnite, you probably playing her. When I play with them, it's kind of completely different. I just go shoot motherfuckers. So the one time they're sitting there, and I'm like, yeah, headshot, motherfucker. And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, and she's got the earphones on. They're like, your dad's freaking nuts, man. Because I'm fucking am.
Hell
That's
yeah!
What I do with games. It's highly competitive. I don't really jaw at you the whole time. But if you're going to be on my team, and you're going to freaking not pick up tags, I'm going to fucking yell at you. Like, if I'm going out to shoot motherfuckers, and there's a sniper, and I'm trying to take the sniper out, don't let a motherfucker shoot me in the back. Don't let a motherfucker come around the corner and shoot me or stab me in the back. When you're standing the fuck there, like, get the fuck out, man.
Brother.
Like, get it. Keep shooting. So now, the competition is back. Now, all you were worried. Now, all you've been put on checkpoint. Get that? That's how we're going to do it.
What?
So all these things, all these games, got the PlayStation 5. I knew there was going to be a Resident Evil for that. God, when I seen Resident Evil 8, had to show Molly. I get Zero Dawn was on it. I saw the basketball game. I don't care about that NBA 2K right now. Resident Evil 8 looks good. PlayStation 5 looks good.
You have to keep it down.
Oh, I'm getting told to keep it down. I'm too jacked up. Shoot motherfuckers up in here. Ooh, yeah. All right.
Okay?
Yeah, I'm good. Having a good time talking about video games. Come here. Okay. This is Mini Override. Tell about Fortnite.
I'm in a live right now.
I know you're in a live.
I'm in 2 lives in one.
Do you tell them how you kick butt at Fortnite with your team?
Okay, so what I do is what we do is me and my friends usually pair up. I got better at the game.
I said that. Yep. But go on.
So it kind of turned into sweat, but not really. And so what we do is we usually land somewhere, and then we get some good loot or something like that. And then just today we won. I was down. I spawned decoys. Then one of my friends, I almost said her name. One of my friends, she had the drum gun, so she drum gunned the last player, and we won. And then if you're down or knocked out, you just get back up, and then we won.
Yeah.
I feel like the decoys helped. And then also tomorrow's the Doomsday event.
Yeah, I told him about that.
Tomorrow's the Doomsday event.
All right.
Ghost Midas.
Yeah.
It's not Shadow Midas. It's Midas, but it's Ghost Midas. And there's a timer above the agency, and what I last checked is 19 hours, but I think it's less than that now.
Yeah.
And what we do is he's going to blow up the whole entire map, and the hatches are open. Like, they've been open for 2 straight days.
Because they're going to have Aquaman.
Yeah. Yeah, they're going to have Aquaman.
It's going to be awesome.
Like Deadpool, we're going to have Aquaman now.
Yeah. See that?
And I got everyone done at the last second.
How's Dad playing Call of Duty?
Good.
No, I'm talking about how is it? How do I do it? My nuts?
You can't run.
No, I can run now with the other controller. But do I be screaming at people?
Yeah.
Yeah, competition.
Yeah, my friend invited me because they play Call of Duty. And I don't play Call of Duty. I play Fortnite.
Yeah, I told him it was too fast-paced for her still, kind of. I said that it's too little intense, too many explosions, people shooting you, she likes it calm down, she loves Fortnite. She's a Fortnite player.
Yeah.
All right. Well, good luck at your things. All right. Well, I mean, that's it. You see how gaming comes on. You see where it's like, that's what life's about. At first, I've always had my brother. And then I had all my friends, Dewan and Dave. You know, I remember going to Dave's house, Dewan, and we couldn't beat things, and Dave would be the one to beat it. Dragon's Lair. Good shit like that. So many good games. Strahl for the 3DO. I got this game called Love Is Bites for the 3DO. It was supposed to be like the next Night Trap. It's a fucking soft porn. Like literally, it's. I thought it was like, so I hit it, and it's just a chick showing her boobs off. It's like, what the fuck? And it's crisp because it's the 3DO. It's fucking weird. I didn't that. So everybody laughed at me. And one dude, my buddy Chris, he goes, "You bought soft porn." And I'm like, motherfucker. So, gaming, it brings people together. But back to it, to Juan, you know, to Cricky and Brian, and my brother still, and then Josh, always keeping me owning them skills. That's what Dewan used to tell me. Better own those skills. Better own those skills. Don't own those skills so I can own all of you. Hell yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's video games for me. Those are the systems I have. And now I got this. You gotta go on Facebook and check out Toys from Low. It's this dude Joshua. He's in Lockport, New York. He's about to open up an arcade. A whole arcade. He's got arcade systems. He's got like pinballs. Like, he's on it. But like right now, COVID-19, the Corona Mania. Oh yeah, the Corona Mania.
Brother.
He's just sitting there and just holding it back. But this dude, I'll hit him up, right? Boom, he'll be like this much. Bam. He's got my games mailed out all times at night. I get the game like 2 days later. No lie. How they look. This dude is awesome. Toys from Low. Go check him out. Joshua is amazing. He's got a great stock. He's looking to buy. He can fix your controllers. He can fix anything. I just seriously go check him out on Facebook. Go check out his stuff, because he's a great person. And since I came across him and he owns a video game store and shit like that, that's my dude.
Hell yeah!
So, that being said, that's video games for me. We're on 52 minutes right now. I've been podcasting for about pretty much 2 hours this weekend, which is great. I mean, I try to keep them down. So, and there's no reason to do things that make me a jerk. When I did it on my top 20, you could tell why I'm a jerk as a gamer. Because I'm going to beat your ass. If you beat me, I'm going to come back harder. Just know, you can talk shit to me. But when I get my string of wins together and you don't win for weeks, we were gambling on games back in the day. I was putting up Twinkies. Don't lie, Twinkies. Rice Krispie treats. My dad would get these boxes of Rice Krispie treats. If I ran out of money, bam. I was never into cards. I was never really into dice. But if there was a video game in the house, do know, I would kick your fucking ass. That's how we're going to end it. I want everybody to have a good time. Check out our podcast. I got so much more coming for you. This is what I do. And always remember that if you want some merch, you want to bring the pain coffee mug like in front of me, go to T Public, bring the pain, heat override, find me. And always remember to bring the pain! Ooh, yeah! Right there, everybody.